Welcome to Cosmic Culture and to part 2 of the Doctor Strange supposed plot leak that we started talking about yesterday. So if you haven't seen yesterday's video, here's a link up in the top right corner. Give that a watch. Today's video will make a lot more sense. However, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to be a huge, groundbreaking, movie franchise-altering film. And it's one of the few Marvel movies that we actually know very little about in a confirmed, this is what's going on, here's who's going to be in it sense. We know Doctor Strange and a few of his close cast and friends are going to be involved, but as far as major cameos, involvement, storyline, direction, where this movie is taking us, we know surprisingly little. However, part 2 of this plot leak that we're going to go over today helps us understand a little bit more of the main villain, a little bit more about that strange Doctor Strange we saw in the first teaser trailer, more about Wanda's role, and how the movie will end up overall ending. And exactly like with yesterday's video, part 1, if this plot leak is true, we'll have a much better understanding of how the multiverse is going to work during and after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So let's dive right into part 2 of this plot leak. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our daily uploads. We talk all major movie and television news here on the channel, and I would love for you guys to join the awesome community that we have started. Also, comment down below. Let me know what you are most excited for in 2022 as far as Marvel projects are concerned. There are a ton of them coming out. Movies, series, Disney Plus projects, tons of characters, both old and new, making their way to the big screen and the streaming platforms this year. So let me know down below. Now, let's jump into part 2 of this plot leak. So yesterday during part 1, we talked a lot about Doctor Strange, about his alternative characters, about ones who will die at the very beginning of the movie, and we were supposed to think that it's real Doctor Strange, but it's a different multiversal Doctor Strange, and even that Doctor Strange himself has actually been manipulating reality for quite some time. Today we're going to be focusing more on Wanda, who is going to be an extremely important character in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And it starts off the first plot point by saying, Strange finds Wanda and asks for her help. Strange knows everything about Westview and has been observing her. The orchard Wanda lives in isn't actually real, it's an illusion. She's actually living in a creepy forest. Wanda reveals that she has been studying the multiverse, saying there is something in the center of the multiverse that might help Strange fix the MCU and give Wanda what she wants, something that even Strange hasn't heard of before. Strange knows that Wanda has been hearing her children calling out to her. They use each other. Wanda uses Strange to find her children. Strange uses Wanda to navigate the multiverse. So here we are again with a really good explanation of what we should see coming from Wanda, and I like the way it lines up with what we saw in the trailer, and it definitely gives us an understanding of why Doctor Strange is coming to work with her. We see clearly in the teaser trailer he shows up at this orchard, which is apparently an illusion and isn't real, and says, "Hi Wanda." Wanda's been waiting for Doctor Strange, knowing she's doing a lot of sketchy stuff with magic and knowing who Doctor Strange is. The explanation that I most like from this is that they explain that they're going to use each other. Doctor Strange is clearly desperate because the multiverse is spiraling into madness, and based off of what we talked yesterday, it's pretty much mostly his fault. Yes, we could question the stuff that happened during WandaVision in Westview. The reality was being changed, she was manipulating it using chaos magic. We can talk about the stuff happening in Loki, where the multiverse actually kind of started to collapse, and the TVA explained how the timelines and the sacred timeline work. And if those are problems you have with this plot leak, you would be completely right. Not everything is Doctor Strange's fault. However, in the official plot synopsis, which we got a few days ago, it specifically talks about how Doctor Strange is the reason that the multiverse is falling into madness, including what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home. So the big fault that we're getting in Doctor Strange 2 is Doctor Strange has caused some reality-breaking issues, whether through spells, using time stones to try to save the entire universe from Thanos. Whatever the reason, Doctor Strange 2 is blaming Doctor Strange for reality falling apart. Does that seem a little unfair? Yes, however, that's the direction Marvel is going with it, so let's just appreciate that that does come from the official plot synopsis. On top of that, we get the whole idea that there's something at the center of the multiverse, and Wanda needs it in order to get her kids back. Her kids have been calling out to her, which is very suspicious, and we'll talk about that here in a second. And Doctor Strange, who has never heard of it, seems to think whatever Wanda is describing can help him fix the multiverse. So a lot of things here really call question to my mind, and that is, who is the big bad in the MCU during Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? There has to be some type of negative force that's going against Doctor Strange here, whether it is himself or Gargantos, who they even teased in the teaser trailer. Is it Mordo? Is it some kind of dark force that we don't know what it is? Or is it Wanda? Ultimately, I don't want to see Wanda being the bad guy. I think it's most likely that we will see her being corrupt by this dark force, this demon, whether it's Cthulhu, who in the comics actually pairs himself with Wanda in order to return to Earth in a mortal form, and that all is heavily relied on the Darkhold. So that storyline is set up there. And once we start talking about demons and possessions and really, really dark, scary stuff, that's where your cameos for the Midnight Suns starts to make a lot of sense. The Midnight Suns in the comics are monster hunters. So expecting to see them be in the MCU, expecting them to be part of Doctor Strange 2, demonstrates to me that there will be some type of dark, demonic, possession, evil demon forces, because that's what the Midnight Suns deal with, are those dark, demonic, evil midnight forces. If I had to guess based off of what this plot leak is telling us, whatever it is at the middle of the multiverse is not going to solve Doctor Strange's problems or Wanda's problems. It's probably causing them. It's calling out to Wanda, trying to convince her to come because she thinks that's how she's going to get her kids back, and Doctor Strange thinks he's going to be able to solve the multiverse with it. But the reality of it is, it makes the most sense that this force in the middle of the multiverse is actually what's causing all of the problems. Now, whether that is, dare I say the word Mephisto, or Cthulhu, or Gargantos somehow, or an evil Doctor Strange that is absorbing all of the other Doctor Stranges, which is a huge heavy rumor that we will be getting this Strange Supreme like we saw in Marvel's What If, who's going around trying to absorb all of the souls and abilities of all the Doctor Stranges so he could be the ultimate Doctor Strange. Sounds a lot like what He Who Remains was explaining about Kang the Conqueror, but it's a similar idea. There is a Doctor Strange who knows how to travel the multiverse and wants to be the only Doctor Strange and absorbs the other Doctor Stranges. That's the idea of who the Dark Force could be. But regardless, we got an idea of Wanda's role from this plot leak, and I think it's going to be very exciting to see her and Doctor Strange work together, using America Chavez's abilities to navigate the multiverse to get to this very important center of the multiverse so that they can be what I presume is tricked, and then we can get a big revelation as to who the big bad is. Whether it is some type of demon or a different Doctor Strange or something different altogether, we'll have to wait until we'll find out. Regardless, I am very excited for this movie. This one plot leak that we've gone over now for 2 days has had a lot of very interesting points. Is it all going to be true, from the Illuminati trying to capture Doctor Strange to Wanda potentially being corrupt by terrible demons and them joining forces to get through the multiverse? It all sounds very, very good and very, very believable, but you never can tell with these plot leaks, so always remember, this is always for good fun. We talk about the possibilities of a movie that has remained very, very well kept hidden from the public eye. Let me know your thoughts of this plot leak and couple it together with the first one that we talked about yesterday. Let me know your overall thoughts, how you think this will show up in Multiverse of Madness. Do you think we'll get some parts of this, or do you think this is all just completely made up? Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.